Hi, my name is Cindu Thomas-George, and I'm on the chopping block at visceralchange.org.
Hey, how's everybody doing? We are here back with another episode of the Chopping Block, and today we have the one and only Cindu Thomas-George. Cindu, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
From a really young age, I was like 23 when I had my first gig, and it was under my mentor who I think he was like, oh, I can't do this, and he sent me, to this nonprofit, and I started realizing that I can really make an impact. And I grew up a long part of my life, from childhood and even early adulthood, feeling ashamed of who I was. I changed my name to Cindy when I was in 6th grade. Because the bullying was so bad, and my best friend was like, let's just, Cindu with you to a Y, let's just do that. So I went into 6th grade, and I still had people from my elementary school that were there, so they knew I wasn't Cindy, but the new people thought I was Cindy, so there was this confusion. I've always wanted to do this. This is my dream. My dream was to be a tenured, professor and teach college, because my communication studies classes changed my life, right? And it was the first time that theory applied to me, and it helped me to understand my life. I was a social work undergrad, and I went through some stuff being a daughter of immigrants and growing up in the 80s, just internally in my family. And so it helped me to understand things like, intergenerational abuse. Power is really important to acknowledge, right? Power
Sure.
dynamics. But regardless if I'm talking about implicit bias or if I'm talking about nonverbal communication, I always think about power. I told my dad when I was 23, I was like, Dad, I know what I want to do in my life. I'm going to be a professor and a diversity consultant. And he's like, Cindu, you have to be at least 30. Like, no one's going to hire you for either of those, right? and in a really big way, he was right. I guess my answer would be, yeah, my identity has shaped a lot of who I am, and I've gone through some internal struggles, just accepting myself, and that's kind of I bring that to the work that I do.